Esaias chapter 6. And it came to pass in the year in which King Ozias died, that I saw the Lord sitting on a high and exalted throne, and the house was full of his glory. And seraphs stood around him. Each one had 6 wings, and with 2 they covered their face, and with 2 they covered their feet, and with 2 they flew. And one cried to the other, and said, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the lintel shook at the voice they uttered, and the house was filled with smoke. And I said, Woe is me, for I am pricked to the heart, for being a man and having unclean lips, I dwell in the midst of a people having unclean lips, and I have seen with mine eyes the King, the Lord of hosts. And there was sent to me one of the seraphs, and he had in his hand a coal, which he had taken off the altar with the tongs. And he touched my mouth, and said, Behold, this has touched thy lips, and will take away thine iniquities, and will purge off thy sins. And I heard the voice of the Lord saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go to his people? And I said, Behold, I am here, send me. And he said, Go, and say this to this people. You shall hear indeed, but ye shall not understand, and ye shall see indeed, but ye shall not perceive. For the heart of this people has become gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have they closed, lest they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and be converted, and I should heal them. And I said, How long, O Lord? And he said, Until the cities be deserted by reason of their not being inhabited, and the houses by reason of there being no men, and the land shall be left desolate. And after this God shall remove the men far off, and they that are left upon the land shall be multiplied. Genesis chapter 5, verses 1 through 24. This is the genealogy of men in the day in which God made Adam. And the image of God he made him. Male and female he made them, and blessed them. And he called his name Adam, in the day in which he made them. And Adam lived 230 years, and begot a son after his own form, and after his own image, and he called his name Seth. And the days of Adam, which he lived after his begetting Seth, were 700 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Adam, which he lived, were 930 years, and he died. Now Seth lived 205 years, and begot Enos. And Seth lived after his begetting Enos 707 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. And Enos lived 190 years, and begot Canaan. And Enos lived after his begetting Canaan 715 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enos were 905 years, and he died. And Canaan lived 170 years, and he begot Malaleel. And Canaan lived after his begetting Malaleel 740 years, and he begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And Malaleel lived 165 years, and he begot Jared. And Malaleel lived after his begetting Jared 730 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Malaleel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared lived 162 years, and begot Enoch. And Jared lived after his begetting Enoch 800 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And Enoch lived 165 years, and begot Methuselah. And Enoch was well pleasing to God after his begetting Methuselah 200 years, and he begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch was well pleasing to God, and was not found, because God translated him. Proverbs chapter 6, verses 3 through 20. 3 through 20. My son, do what I command thee, and deliver thyself. For on thy friend's account thou art come into the power of evil men. Faint not, but stir up even thy friend, for whom thou art become surety. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber with thine eyelids, that thou mayest deliver thyself as a doe out of the toils, and as a bird out of a snare. Go to the ant, O sluggard, and see, and emulate his ways, and become wiser than he. For whereas he has no husbandry, nor any one to compel him, and is under no master, he prepares food for himself in the summer, and lays by abundant store in harvest. Or go to the bee, and learn how diligent she is, and how earnestly she is engaged in her work, whose labor kings and private men use for health, and she is desired and respected by all. Though weak in body, she is advanced by honoring wisdom. How long wilt thou lie, O sluggard? And when wilt thou wake out of sleep? Thou sleepest a little, and thou restest a little, and thou slumberest a short time, and thou foldest thine arms over thy breast a little. Then poverty comes upon thee as an evil traveler, and want as a swift courier. But if thou be diligent, thine harvest shall arrive as a fountain, and poverty shall flee away as a bad courier. A foolish man and a transgressor goes in ways that are not good, and the same winks with the eye, and makes a sign with his foot, and teaches with the beckonings of his fingers. His perverse heart devises evils at all times, such as a one causes trouble to a city. Therefore his destruction shall come suddenly, overthrow, and irrevocable ruin. For he rejoices in all things which God hates, and he is ruined by reason of impurity of soul.